I'm gonna hold it out here, and you can still hear me. That's awesome. All right, so let's get our first stand-up for tonight, Stephen Buckley. Stephen Buckley, and he's gonna do some stand-up for you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Yay! I was doing pretty well too, and then I got up here, and now I can see the exit sign. And the exit signs freak me out because when I look at an exit sign, I think, why do I need to know how to get out of here? Is there something I don't know about this room? What an exit sign should say is like, you could die. It's a possibility. Just be ready. So, yeah, they're never good. And they're never in places you actually want to leave, you know? It's always like you're at a bar, you're like, oh, this chick's pretty hot, maybe I'll hit on her. Oh, and then the exit sign's there like, would you trample her to death to leave? It might come to that. Jack, I'm leaving. It's a bar with Jacks. And, you know, it kind of makes sense that there aren't, like, exits in a funeral home or something like that. Because if you walked into a funeral home or a dentist's office and you were like, exit, okay, and then you leave. You don't need a sign for that. When you're at the movies, you're like, maybe I'll stay for the end, see how it goes, and you'll go for the exit signs like, or you'll die in a fire. Throw that out. It's the modern messenger of death. But I like exit signs. No, I don't. I don't like exit signs. They're just too subtle, actually. Because, you know, you'll be on a date with a girl and you'll be like, wow, this girl seems really cool, she seems really interesting. You're going to the restaurant, and she's like, this guy's really funny, and he has an afro that I've been looking for my whole life. Just like every girl wants. And now you know it's fantasy. Anyway, and then you're in the restaurant and you're just looking into her eyes. And then you look up and you see the exit sign. And you're like, oh, I don't really want to die with you. You seem great. Check please. Yeah, that's why I like airplanes, because airplanes are up front. Right when you get on an airplane, they're like, yeah, so in the event of an emergency, the exits are there, there, and there. You can just jump if you want to die alone. The rest of us will die in the wreckage. And if you can't find a way to the suicide doors, you can just follow the lights on the floor, in case you get disoriented when we lose the wing. For those of you who will be remaining seated, there are masks that will drop from the ceiling. They'll release a heavy sedative so you can die in your sleep. Thank you for flying Delta. And, you know, that's great. Because a lot of companies, it takes guts. You know, you get on a plane and they're immediately like, oh, thanks so much for buying this from us. We might kill you accidentally. We do that. Like, imagine if you went into the Mac store and you're like, I really like the MacBook Pro. I'm thinking about getting it. The guy's like, yeah, it's a really big seller. People really like it. About 25 people a year die using it. And you'd be like, okay, what about the iPod Touch? But 25 is actually lowballing it, because you know there are people who are like, that tasted weird. It tasted kind of like poison. Okay, I'm just gonna Google it and see. Oh, puppies on YouTube. This poison's becoming really good to me. Okay, I gotta focus. Okay, look up arsenic on Wikipedia. Okay, I'll just click on this link. Oh, I'll click on this link. I never knew that about Spain. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna email my brother why I'm dead. Dear, oh, I would love a bigger penis. You know, yeah. If you went into the Apple store and you saw that, you wouldn't keep going to the Apple store. But we keep sitting on airplanes and we keep eating their food. So it's a good time that's had by all. So that's kind of a dark side of life. So after giving you all of that death and exit signs, and next time you're on an airplane, you'll be like, oh God. But now I'm gonna give you some good things that you can do with your life. Because I feel like if everyone gave 3 good things, like three good pieces of advice, we would all be slightly better, but we would still die. And the first piece of advice is that you can make your life better by replacing every drug term you hear with a math term. Next time someone's like, you know, you're at a party, it's not going so well, and someone's like, hey, you want to go back and do some algebra? Okay. Then you can just imagine that however you want to. It still works with some terms. You can be like, I found some X. Still good. Still good. Yeah, and then it makes hearing the news, like reading a magazine, way, way better. It's just like, oh, Lindsay Lohan was found in the back of the club doing calculus. What is this nation coming to? God. Jay-Z found today 20 tons of geometry in his truck. Oh no, I just started, some fractions. I can't do Jay-Z in case you can't tell. Just worked my way up. I have 33 times 3 problems. Yeah. This dovetails nicely with my second piece of advice, which is that if you can fit song lyrics into regular conversation, everyone benefits. And by that I mean no one will love you anymore, but you won't notice. So like the next time someone walks up to you and they're like, hey, you'll be like, hey you, I don't like your girlfriend. And the best part about that one is that sometimes they'll go, no way, no way. And then you can just start singing out loud, I know that you like me. You guys not know that song? Jesus. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys, you have issues. And then if a cop pulls you over, he's like, do you know what I pulled you over for? And you're like, because I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low. And he's like, no. That wasn't it. And I'm like, okay, here's my ID and registration. Thank you, officer. Oh, boy. My favorite one, though, because I'm a procrastinator, is that frequently I'll walk into places and someone will be like, you're a little late. And I'll be like, I'm already torn. So, yeah. It's fun. It's fun. And then my third piece of advice, because I promised you 3, is you should try to mix up sayings so that people don't notice, but you're secretly offending them. You know, I notice my advice will not make you lead a better life, but you will be happier. So, who needs friends? Yeah. So, you should just walk up, you're having a breakup. You've been living with someone for a while, it's just not working out, and you're like, listen, it's not me, it's you. I'm sorry. Everything you do annoys me. Get it? She'll just laugh till she cries. It'll be great. That's a good one. There's some other good ones that I can't really remember right now. That's pretty much all I've got for you guys. So, have a good night.
All right, so we have